So a really popular series that's gotten a lot of traction on TikTok for me is alternative engagement rings. And I thought, what the hey, why don't I box up some stones for you and we'll play that game right here.
Hello, Gemstones viewers. Today we have a special episode with a special guest. This is Preston, who also happens to work here. He's normally behind the camera, but today he is in front of the camera.
Crossed the threshold.
And does a lot of gemstones content.
I like talking about alternative engagement rings, and it seems to be a pretty hot topic around, There are so many gemstones in the gemstone world, so many colored stones, and I like to educate people on which ones will work for their entire life.
There's just a lot the world has to offer.
So, are you ready for the box?
I am very ready for the box.
Go for it. Merry Christmas.
It is almost that time. Ooh.
So go ahead and give a guess. What do you think that is?
These are diamond.
When you think of engagement ring or wedding ring, you think diamond. And there's a lot of qualities about diamond that make it perfect for an engagement ring. Here we've got two mined diamonds. They're both pear cuts, but these are lab diamonds. And there's a big misnomer that lab diamonds are fake diamonds, and that cannot be any more untrue. Lab diamonds are chemically and structurally the same exact thing as your regular diamonds.
Diamond, the stone, is the hardest mineral on Earth. So you're going to want a harder stone for if you're planning on wearing a ring pretty much every day.
So this is a classic for a good reason, but we've got tons of other options here with us today. We're gonna go through them and see how they rate as alternative engagement rings.
Ooh, all right, okay, all right.
Got some cool stuff.
Got some cool stuff, a variety of some things. If these are all the same gemstone, then I think that this is Alexandrite.
You would think correctly. This is Alexandrite, the color-changing variety of chrysoberyl. Named after Tsar Alexander II, found in the Ural Mountains, Alexandrite is a super popular gemstone in alternative engagement rings and jewelry in general. People love how this stone will change colors based on the light that's hitting it. If we got a warm light, this stone should look a wine red, and under the lights that we have right here, cooler lights, it looks green. And we can even see that in this natural specimen here. You can kind of see it a little bit.
I see it a lot in this one in particular.
Where the light can enter the stone, we can see it glow a cherry red in some spots. So as far as engagement ring, hardness-wise, 8.5 out of 10. So harder than steel. You're not gonna worry about getting this stone abraded and all scratched up. So Alexandrite, I would definitely recommend this stone to wear as an alternative engagement ring.
It won't have like the high dispersion that diamond has, but it has the potential for color change.
And basically with any piece of jewelry, it's whatever you like, It's your preference, whatever you think is beautiful, wear it. Let's make a line kind of rating most recommended for engagement rings, least recommended for engagement rings. So of course, diamond's going to be at the top of the scale. So for now, we'll put the Alexandrite right here next to the diamond, and as we go on, we'll see if anything can dethrone it to the left there.
An appropriately sized box.
All right, some nice stones, different colors. But like I said earlier, this is all one stone. What do we have here? Tell me your thoughts. What's your process?
I kind of have a little bit of a cheat here because this lovely brown crystal shows a tetrahedral crystal system. And one of them happens to be Zircon.
Bingo, this is Zircon. Many forms of Zircon, many colors of Zircon. We've got our blue Zircon here, which is it's a result of a heat treatment, of course, and you could do all sorts of treatments to Zircons to make them look different colors. As you can see, we've got colorless, we've got brown in crystal form, and blue. What's cool about Zircon is it is very doubly refractive, as you know. It sits at a 0.059, which, as you know, anything like above 0.033 is going to have eye visible doubling. And what that is pretty much when the light enters the stone, it splits into two rays. When light splits enough in a gemstone, we can see the doubling of the back facets. So when we look through the stone, we will see 2 lines per facet edge, which is just a cool little fun fact I like to tell people. Another cool thing about zircon is it has a sub-adamantine luster. So adamantine means diamond-like. So luster is that reflection that we see off the surface of the stone. So whenever you get, a gemstone for identification, you see that luster in a zircon, you're like, I know what that is. Well, zircon can be quite brittle. Its toughness is not, the best. And you can often find nibbling on facet edges when it comes to zircon. So in gemology, if you see the facet edges of a stone kind of tore up, kind of like chipped, I would say, we label that as nibbling. And it just looks like little tiny ants have just had a feast on the facet edges of the stone. So if we're talking about a ring that we're going to be wearing for the rest of our lives, something that's going to chip off as soon as you bang it might not be the best. For that reason, I think I would put it right here, onward.
And upward. Oh. Seeing the crystal shape of this lovely blue one right here, as well as, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's kind of small. There is a star on these cabochons. So these lovely signs tell me that this is corundum, but more specifically, sapphire.
So these stones have asterism. Asterism is an internal reflection effect due to very small, plentiful, parallel, needle-like inclusions of rutile that are going in different directions. We have 6 rays, and that's pretty much 3 directions of needles. These small inclusions are causing light to just bounce directionally in this stone, depending on where the light is entering. So the star will move. This isn't typically found in natural stones.
It's also possible to have 12 rays, which is extremely rare, especially in natural stones. Corundum is a 9, which is, right there next to diamond. Little less worry that if you jam your hand against a wall, probably won't chip as likely.
It also has no planes of cleavage, so you don't have to worry about chipping the stone in 2. So this is a very good pick. So I'm not really sure where I would place this stone. I would probably place it right here, in between our zircon and our Alexandrite.
I would put it above the Alexandrite, although they are very close in hardness. It's a 9 comparatively to an 8.5. But it's blue.
You know what? This is your world. I'm just living in it.
Place it where you want. This is my world. It's going right here.
Ooh, look at that. It's got some cool stuff in here.
There's a couple of good things.
A lot of angles. A lot of sharp lines.
Angles. So we got a lot of good stuff here. We have fluorite.
Fluorite.
And not only from these many straight lines, we have some bicolor, tricolor as well.
Yeah.
But probably mostly bicolor, but they are in alternating colors.
We've got a lot of different colors going on here. Well, that is because fluorite is allochromatic, which means that the coloring element responsible for the stone's color is not essential to its structure. So we can get a lot of different colors of fluorite based on what snuck in there during the growth process. Other people might really like this stone too and might want to maybe think about having it as an alternative engagement ring. Fluorite sits at a 4 on the Mohs scale of hardness. It's barely harder than your fingernail. It'll cleave in 4 directions perfectly like diamond, except the difference is this has easy cleavage, whereas diamond has difficult cleavage. Not the best choice for a forever ring, I must say. Beautiful, yes.
Although a lot cheaper than some of the other stones, but it's a great occasion ring or
cocktail ring.
Cocktail ring, yes.
So for all those reasons, the placement, in my opinion, for this ring is like right here for an engagement ring. I'm not talking about beauty.
No, I agree 100%.
All right, so we've got one more to place. Are you ready? And actually, I'm gonna need you to close your eyes for this one. Okay, Brittany, you may now open your eyes.
That's not what I was expecting.
That is insane.
Well, I see a lot of hexagon platelets.
Absolutely, very tabular.
Very
thin.
very thin. There's a little bit of iridescent colors, but like dark iridescent colors like blue and purple.
That's one thing that I noticed about this specimen. You look at the top of it and it's got this kind of blue sheen to it. It's crazy looking. We've got like the darker end of the spectrum. We've got black, of course. We've got some purples and some blues here that are just reflecting off of these tabular crystals.
Highly reflective.
Highly reflective, very high luster. I would label as sub-adamantine personally. So I have a box right here it's the same thing as this, basically, and I think it'll help you out.
Okay. Now, if this is all the same stuff, at least some of it is moissanite. The dark stuff, I don't think is moissanite.
So this, as well as this is carborundum, or silicon carbide, which is the essential building block of moissanite. So pretty much what this stuff is this is the accumulation of silicon carbide I believe it accumulates on the smokestacks of where they synthesize moissanite. So this stuff builds up on those smokestacks and it has to be chipped off. You can see all of those colors. So moissanite sits at a 9.25 on the Mohs scale of hardness. That's very hard, especially when we go back to talking about how the difference between diamond and corundum is like by a factor of 4. So this is still significantly harder than corundum, being at a 0.25. It is also a very tough gemstone. It doesn't have any distinct cleavage, and it's actually used for trauma plates and ballistic vests. This is a very durable gemstone for lifetime wear, and seeing that you got it for your ring,
Oh, well, you know.
you've made a very wise decision, in my opinion, because that stone will last you a long time. Moissanite can also come in multiple colors.
That is true.
It can be synthesized as blue, red, yellow, pink, green. It's such a versatile gemstone, so much variety, and you really can't go wrong with picking this stone as an alternative engagement ring.
Moissanite has a higher dispersion than diamond.
So when we're talking about dispersion, we're talking about the splitting of those spectral colors. So you will see a ton of fire. And actually, can we get a diamond? One of the diamonds, we can put them up to each other. You will see just the colors, the rainbow will just scream at you in moissanite. Now it's pretty good in diamond too, but the difference is noticeable. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like zircon, moissanite is also very doubly refractive. It's more doubly refractive than zircon, so it has a very high birefringence, which means we'll see the doubling of those facet edges through the stone even that much more. So the question that we now have to ask ourselves, or the question that I will impose upon you, is where does moissanite stand in our list of engagement rings?
It would have to go in between corundum and diamond.
So let's do a quick review of our lineup. We've got fluorite, and I think rightfully so. There's no debate there. Next, we've got zircon. Kind of ran up short there because of its brittleness, those nibbles that can get on the facet edges.
Does have good dispersion.
Does have good dispersions, beautiful color, beautiful stone in general. Next, we've got our Alexandrite. I'm a little hurt on this. I think this should be a little higher personally, but it's okay. Next, we got our star sapphire, our corundum. Corundum is king, corundum is beautiful, corundum is a good stone.
It is.
Very hard, no cleavage, and that asterism is out of this world. Next, we've got our diamond. Diamond came in second place here in Brittany's order, but our king/queen of today is moissanite, famed for its high hardness, its amazing dispersion, 1.5 times that of diamond.
Also, a little bit less expensive than diamond.
So I've always wanted to say this, but I think we should take a closer look at one of these. Feel really bad that Alexandrite came up a little short there. So I think I'm going to grab this Alexandrite ring because I think it is phenomenal.
Well, then my closer look is this bad boy right here. Look at those hexagons. They are very nice. And I think you all should enjoy this lovely piece because you're not really going to see this.
With that being said, let's take a closer look.
If you enjoyed today's episode with Preston here today, we're going to put a link down below of his TikTok channel, Vitrium.
And if you want to see more unboxings, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.